Hey guys, and welcome to a new series on my channel. Recently I asked you guys whether or not you'd be interested in seeing a palette a day series. A couple of you did say you'd be interested in seeing that series testing all of the indie brand eyeshadow palettes that I have in my collection, and these are brand new to me. I made it kind of a mission in my personal life to support more independent brands and get more into indie eyeshadow brands. So I have been hauling a bunch. I've got a bunch of different indie brand haul shadow videos on my channel. I think there's 4 installments, and I will be trying to link those in the description box in case you guys are interested in checking them out and you haven't already. But I have 45 palettes that I have not tested, I have not put on my eyes. I have swatched most of these in the haul video, but in these videos I am going to fully swatch all of the palettes before we do one look. Not all of these palettes are still available. I noticed that after hauling them, some of them sell out. That's how indie brand shadows go. But in case some of them do come back in stock, and in case you guys have these palettes in your current collection and are interested in seeing a look, I am going to include all of the palettes that I hauled, regardless of whether or not they are still available. I am just picking the palettes that are really calling to me the day that I come up here to film these videos. And if you are interested in me doing a look with any one of those next, please leave it in the comments below. If you guys aren't currently subscribed, I'd love to see you subscribe. You guys, let's get into it. Today we are doing a palette from MBA Cosmetics. It's the Pumpkin Kisses and Autumn Wishes palette. Super fall themed palette. I think I did get this palette on a discount or at a discount because some of the lettering at the bottom had rubbed off, and I think they were discontinuing it. So these two shades at the bottom, the Woodland shade and the Fireside shade is what I think it was, the lettering rubbed off, and so it was like half off or even more than half off. I think it was like $14 or something like that. So that's why I ended up picking up this palette. I do have other palettes from MBA Cosmetics, but I don't know that I've tried any of them yet. So this may be like the first time I'm trying a formula, or at least the matte formula. So this isn't available, so I don't have a ton of details on it, but as you can see, it is just a smaller 9-pan palette that it is very autumn themed. Green, brown, and mostly oranges is what you get in there, with like a pop of this pink shimmer here. Couple of things that you could do with it, but maybe not a ton of different variety in a 9-pan like this. And even though this is not available for sale, they still have a ton of different palettes on their website that are kind of like fall themed like this. There's some green and orange color stories in there that I thought would be like a good alternative to something like this if you couldn't get your hands on it but wanted to try the formula. So I will link their website in my description box in case you guys are interested in checking anything of theirs out. So I'm pretty sure I know the look that I want to do today. I am going to swatch all of this out, and then we're going to get to making this look. So let's get into it. I start from left to right, top to bottom. This one is candy corn, and it's more of a satin formula is kind of what this feels like. Not overly light reflecting. This one has a lot of stickiness to it. Yeah, not hugely light reflecting. Ooh, this one looks like it could be like a duochrome. It's called Foliage, and it's kind of a pink to orange, but it looks copper in the pan. Yeah, that's got to be a duochrome because it's very copper when you're looking at the pan, but it swatches out way more pink. So I'm pretty sure that's a duochrome. This next is an orange matte. It's called Bountiful. All right, this next one is the light shimmer in the palette. It's a champagne shimmer. It's called Equinox. That one's not like overly light reflecting either, but still really nice if you like a lighter shimmer because all of these are pretty deep shimmers. This one also looks like a duochrome. It's a pink to orange flip. It's called Crisp. Kind of similar to this one right here. If I'm being kind of honest, like even though they look super different in the pan, they swatch very similarly. See how this, well, now that I'm looking back on camera, this does look more pink, but this is definitely like a pinker shade, and this one has more of a coppery tone to it. It's just very flippy, pink to copper. Here's kind of your cranberry shade, which is called Cranberry in the mattes. So you get a nice, maybe deepening shade for these deeper shimmers. Ooh, that's really pretty. Then you get your standard green matte, which is called Woodland, and it's a deeper shade, so possibly an outer corner shade. There's that there. Here's your brownie matte, which is super warm and chestnut. The names are perfect, aren't they? They're basically describing the tone of the shadow. And this last one in Fireside, or what I think is Fireside, is a really, really soft shimmer, like no textured shimmer, and it's red, reddish orange. And there's the full color story. Very, very fall themed. So I started to say that there's no repeats in any of the tones or the colors, but I actually do believe that the shimmer here and here are very similar once you swatch it out, even though this one looked more copper in the pan. What you get is an orange matte, a cranberry matte, a green matte, and a warm brown matte. And then a champagne shimmer, an orange shimmer, a red shimmer, and then these two that are very similar pink. One of the things I don't love in 9pan palettes is when you get repeat mattes or repeat shimmers or something that is very similar looking, like especially in the matte department, because then mostly those just look very similar. Aside from those pink shimmers, I don't think anything else is a repeat. And even this one may pull more copper than pink when it gets to the lid. Okay, I'm going to start off with the cranberry shade in the outer corner, and I'm going to diffuse it out with chestnut. And I think that I'm gonna take 2 different shimmers actually. I don't know which shimmer I'm going to take in the center part of the lid, but I'm gonna take the cool shade in the inner corner. So I'm gonna like fade it outward, but I'm gonna start with the deepest shade in this palette and start in the outer corner first to really deepen it up and then lighten it as I go. Like, look how pretty that is, like how diffused looking it already looks, just tapping it on with the brush. I'm actually really excited for this look. I'm leaving it there. I'm gonna do the same thing to the other eye. I just kind of want it in the bottom part of the outer lid. All right, now into chestnut, which is the warm brown shade. And I'm gonna buff around the edges, everywhere around the edges, ever so slightly, and fade these 2 colors into one another. And I might go back into that cranberry shade and deepen up where I laid it. I'm using the slightest hand. I really want to fade these 2 in together nicely and not have one take over the other. I'm bringing that orange just in a little bit. Well, it's kind of a warm brown, I guess, brownish warm, but I'm warmish brown. Brownish warm. Okay, Carrie. But I'm just taking what's left over on the brush to kind of bring it in just ever so slightly. We're going to use 2 different shimmers, so it's not going to matter too much. All right, now I'm going back into cranberry and I'm going to deepen this up exactly where I want it to be, a little bit deeper, and kind of completely focusing it on the lower part of the lid. All right, we are going into crisp, the main pinky shade in the middle. And I'm gonna take that out here, kind of in the center, I guess. And then I'm gonna take that champagne-y shade and really bring it into the inner corner. So I'm going above the crease on this one because I want the shimmers to really stand out here. I love this shimmer too. Like, oof, it's so pretty. All over, it would be so nice. It's intense, that shimmer. Very pigmented. All right, Equinox in the inner corner. And I really want to blend these 2 together. I might even like get a brush and blend them, not just with my finger, because I want them to really fade into one another. So let me just lay it down and then I'm going to take a brush and blend them together. All right, I'm taking just a flat brush and blending them together. There's like a little bit of shadow on this from the Equinox shade because I kind of used it to go into the inner corner. I want these to look like they were meant to be together. And I think that looks good. All right, I'm going to do the other side. Going back into cranberry and blending these outer shades together one final time. And then again into chestnut, really tapping off the brush though, to diffuse out the edges. I'm deepening the outer corner like one final time. And that's good. Let's cut the edges like I like to do. Oh, I think that's pretty. I think that's a really pretty fall look. I like it. It's cute. I do want to throw on some lashes today. So I'm going to throw on some lashes really quickly. I am going to do something on the lower lash line. So I'm going to finish the rest of my makeup and then we'll come back and we'll do that. Be right back. All right, we're back. I put on some lashes that are really big and I'm debating whether or not I love them. I think they're good for camera, but they're definitely not something that I would wear out and about because they're just super duper long. And then I threw a brown liner in the waterline. So let's finish this up. I'm going to go with the same colors that I went on top. I'm going to do the cranberry super close to the lower lash line. And then I'm going to smoke it out with chestnut here. And I am going all the way across with the cranberry shade. And then something fluffier for the cranberry shade to really blend that out. Again, all the way across. I'm taking that same Equinox shade for a little bit of an inner corner highlight, just a tiny bit. My Beauty Bay High Key Mascara for the lower lashes. Okay, I really like the way that looks. Very smoky, very fall. I need to go finish the rest of my makeup because I only did my foundation after I put the lashes on. So I'm gonna go do that. We're gonna come right back and we're gonna talk final thoughts on this palette. Okay, everything is done with my complexion and I'm absolutely loving this look, yes. This is a gorgeous palette. I actually think these two here are duochromes and this one right here is just catching my eye every time I'm looking in the mirror. I love the way that these shades blend together. Like this one and this one are delicious together. I could see these two being really nice if you wanted to do a primarily orange look. The green even is nice if you you wanted to do a green look and you could pair it with this lighter shimmer here, this one was so gorgeous that I could see myself really enjoying, because it's that like super flat shimmer that doesn't give you any texture, that's just super light reflecting. Again, these are the only two that look kind of similar, and I wish you could see how unsimilar, there you go, that they actually look when you're looking at them up close and not on camera. The only shade that I wasn't over the moon about was this one, which is like a satin, but that's actually really nice if you wanted to do like a halo eye. I think that would look really good in the center. I just did a look like that recently. I think I have a lot of palettes in my collection that are similarly colored to this. This is not like a unique color story by any means, but as like a travel palette that's gonna give me kind of a look like this, that I could also take green and do something green with it, I think it's fantastic. I had zero performance issues at all with this palette. I enjoyed both of the shimmers. They weren't too chunky. I enjoyed the mattes more than I enjoyed the shimmers, quite honestly. Anytime I'm blending two shades together and I'm looking for them to really diffuse into one another without making me work too hard, great, fabulous. I'm always looking for that. This was special. I really enjoyed the quality of this, honestly. In a little 9-pan palette, is it hard to be impressed? Maybe, but this was so much better than I thought it was gonna be. Just looking at it when I pulled it out, I thought, okay. That's sometimes how these go, you guys. The ones that warm my heart are sometimes the ones I didn't expect. So I thoroughly enjoyed this. Again, I hope you guys are enjoying this series. I hope that you guys enjoyed today's look. Since we are done with our spooky themed palettes and we're into our fall themed palettes, I think I have 4 or 5 more fall themed palettes that I'm gonna try and get through in the earlier part of December and then move on to my winter themed palettes. So I hope you guys stick around for that. I'm out of here for today, you guys, and I hope to catch y'all in my next video. Bye, guys.